Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Soap Floor, the official gathering place for newbies, novices, and OG diehard fans of the golden age of prime time. I'm your host, Jet, viewing and reviewing a season premiere from the early 80s. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 45 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, you can be cool, you can be quiet, or you will be put out because we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Floor. Hello, party people. Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Floor. We got 2 down, 2 to go on the season premiere of vintage primetime soap opera. That sounds kind of funny to say, but you know what I'm saying. It might be old news to you, but it's definitely new to me. And baby, I have yet to be disappointed. We had a whodunit right out the gate on Dallas, and Falcon Crest let us know that 2 of our main characters are back. They were not blown to smithereens, but we got an amnesiac and a long-lost kiddo. Season 5 is not playing with us, not even a little bit. I am a little bit behind on recording, so this is going to be a lot closer to real time. And I have a very special piece of information that I was blessed with earlier this week. I cannot wait to share it with you. So go ahead and pour yourself up something bubbly and bright. Settle in as we decide what we're going to watch, what I'm going to review, who we're going to talk crazy about. You already know what it is. Go ahead and get comfortable. We got a lot of work to do. This is actually perfect timing, and I'm so glad I didn't read this before. I got a very interesting, very comical, very amusing piece of commercial history, an iconic performance, than none other than Connie. What's Connie's last name? Is it Giannini? Yeah, Connie Giannini on Falcon Crest. She may be MIA for the time being. Let Chase tell it. She got in a car and disappeared, which I guess that tracks because she just sort of flew in to bury her mom and then she was bullied into making champagne. And then she fell in love with the aviator Adonis. I mean, I get it. Maybe she's saving face. Maybe she's embarrassed. Maybe the thought of his wife being blown to smithereens turned her off. I really don't know. What else I didn't know? Shout out to Bob. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I have cackled. I've had a really good time. I probably watched these, or all 3 of these, no less than 6 times. Connie Giannini, aka Carla Borelli. Okay, I'm just going to read this second line. Not sure if you know, but Donald May, the dude who played Bradford Linton, and Carla Borelli, who played Connie, were married in real life. He died a few years ago and they were married up until his death. I believe they were already married by the time they were on Falcon Crest. I don't remember that. And I even looked up that guy's name. I don't remember who that is. So I'll probably have to sit and actually watch the episodes all the way through. Okay, they both had been daytime soap stars. They met on the set of Texas, where she shined and apparently he didn't. Here's a real tea. So apparently he was difficult to deal with on set, a full-on diva. He had been a pretty popular leading daytime soap star for years on a show called The Edge of Night, but left pretty abruptly. I think he probably thought his daytime cachet was going to translate into big things for him. You hear that a lot. And it seems to me, I don't know this guy's background. I'm probably going to look it up before I watch whatever show. I feel like when someone when they take themselves really seriously, which I respect, you got to do that. Thespians seem to be the most serious of actors. Those in the full-on method actors who usually come from the stage. I wonder if that's his whole bit. And he was really feeling himself, but you know what? He may not have gotten the stardom he thought he was going to have, but he got a baddie as a wife. I'm just going to read what Bob says. He says, if you were just a few years older, you'd also remember Carla/Connie from the ubiquitous Figurines commercials that seemed to never stop airing. Okay. When I read the word figurines, I'm literally thinking of those precious moment little knickknacks, those Chotsky little droopy eyed figures that were there. Sometimes they were praying, sometimes they were doing different things. I feel like I saw those everywhere. That was a staple in my childhood, right next to the crocheted dolls over tissue, the mother goose with the little hat on, or the bears with the weird pattern, and then like the Looney Tunes shirt. There's so many things that I start to remember, but I had never heard of this. Figurines was apparently like a diet substitute cookie thingamajig, a replacement meal. You remember when Special K came out with those little snack packs and everybody was starving, but they thought they were so cute? It reminds me of a Slim Fast, but here's the thing. It's made by Pillsbury, which you immediately think, ooh, it's going to be ooey gooey and moist. This looks dry as hell, but Connie Giannini is doing her ting. Listen.
You can crunch out loud. Figurines. Crunch, 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 crunch. They're the most unquiet kind of diet lunch. Figurines brand diet meals from Pillsbury. When everyone is munching, you can crunch along. My shape belongs to figurines.
Oh my God, it gets better. Listen, you tell yourself what you need to tell yourself when you're losing weight. Sometimes it does help to keep your mouth busy. That one looked okay. The other one I feel like was a little more moist.
For every eclair you resist, figurines are sweet revenge. Figurines are the diet sweet with a scrumptious filling. Moist, creamy, delicious. Figurines, dieting was never so sweet. For everything that you pass by, banana splits or lemon pie, figurines are sweet revenge.
Figurines are sweet revenge. She is taking revenge on all the eclairs and beautiful things she didn't get to eat. I love it. Connie is killing it. Here's the thing I'm noticing though. She has not changed that hair. She likes a good old fashioned toddlers and tiara big hair, but I mean, it's 1976, so that tracks. Thank you so much for sending that in. That was amazing. And when she breaks the little crunch bar in half, kind of looks like a Nutter Butter. Or no, what are the waffle, those little waffle things that are covered in chocolate? Sometimes they're pink. We used to have them in Sunday school with that battery acid red punch that burned the top layer of your tongue off. It looks like one of those. She snaps it in half, talking about it's moist in the middle. No, not at all. Not at all. All right. Okay. That was a fun little blast from the past. Let's see what we're watching today. We're either getting down on Dynasty or we're getting down on Knots Landing. In order to keep this completely blind, I have my lovely assistant here who is going to reach into the cup and pull out one of those. Just pick one. Thank you, dear.
Do I say something now?
If you want to, you can read it. Just open it and let me know. This is what I'm watching next.
Knots Landing.
Ah! Okay, that's kind of what I wanted. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Right off the bat, since it's Knots Landing, I already know there's no way I can do this in real time. Y'all know you know how I get. This show seems to get under my skin. But I'm excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, this feels momentous. From what you guys are telling me, this is when things really rev up. This is when it changes. I fully believe you because I'm already a fan. I'm already totally into it. Even if they stayed exactly the same for the next 10 years, I'd be okay with it. I just want to hold on to this moment just a moment longer and try to remember what I think about this show before. I thought it was good. I like the camaraderie with the neighbors. I'm fully expecting a huge fallout from the Abby/Gary get together. Although I do think Val might stick around with him just to work it out. Seems like you could really milk the storyline if you wanted to. You could absolutely make everybody's life miserable. I'm imagining like dissension between the fan group, the neighbors. I forget how many houses they have on the street, but I'm sure somebody else is moving in. Yeah, at some point we got to fold in a new neighbor. I'm just realizing that it's been 3 seasons. There hasn't been any new neighbors. We've had some outliers. So I would imagine they're going to do a little bit more of that. Unfortunately, we know Diana's. I'm so upset about that. I'm going to have to let that go at some point. But dang, why isn't she at college? She probably goes to UCLA. I keep forgetting when you're in a large city like that, like yeah, there's so many colleges to pick from. She could go anywhere and be home that weekend. Ugh. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I just remembered one of you guys told me a long time ago that they change the opening credits every time. So I am gonna watch that. And I guess that'll tell me, well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. It might not tell me if there's new characters because last season they pulled the okey doke and they left Sid in there. I'm not sure I would have noticed if they didn't, but they left him in for the opening credits. I'm sure of it. All right, guys, let's figure out what this episode is called, and I'm gonna jump in whole hog. I'm gonna do my best. I don't know how this is gonna go. I really don't. Okay, I'm in a different room. I just Googled, and I guess I'm on the official. Okay, this is the official Knots Landing website. I see a fanned out. Oh my god, this fool. This is pissing me off immediately. It's a picture of Gary in the middle. Val has 80s hair and she's wearing Maggie's dress from Falcon Crest last season. And Abby's got a little bit of a shorter haircut, fluffed out. Let me just skip all this. Season 4, don't look ahead, don't look ahead. Is it called A Brand New Day? It says 54. I'm going to assume it's called A Brand New Day. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself here in a minute. Season 4, episode 1 of Knots Landing, A Brand New Day. So my lovely assistant helped me out. I stepped outside the room while the little pre-part showed. I did hear somebody say murder, so now I'm super curious, but I am going to watch the opening to see who's who and what's what. Okay, I hope this isn't too loud. Let's just see what we can... Oh, it seems like they changed the theme song just a little bit. I don't mean to bore you guys with this. I just really... Oh, okay. Kevin Dobson. Oh, he's cute. He got a little fro and everything. He's real cute. There go Lily Mae. There's Kenny. With ginger peppered in. Okay. Yeah, I really didn't expect them to go anywhere, if I'm being honest. Wait, didn't they already show her this? It says Michelle Lee now. I guess it was just showing her face at the beginning. I really should watch these more. Okay, there's Abby. Duh. Richards, duh. Yeah, I don't expect to lose anybody. Well, hell, I will never say that again. I just really wanted to see if they added a new person to the top of the show, and it looks like they did. Oh, this dude's wearing like a leisure suit. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let me just stop recording and listen. I guess they're giving us a little bit of a flashback because Abby and he are in bed. Abby and Gary, of course, are in bed. Yeah, this is a flashback. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. You know, they ain't even said a word on this yet. We just saw Valine running down the beach. She looks so young. I thought it was a teenager at first. This bastard. Okay, so he got caught. You know exactly what I'm talking about. He got caught at the friend's apartment. He chased his wife down the street. Honey, listen to me, listen to me. Tell me why he woke up in Abby's bed, had the balls to walk across the street to his own house after he'd made a fool of his wife in front of everybody. I guess it wasn't in front of everybody. Wow. He really slept. You know what? Okay, so I see where this is going immediately. He for real slept at Abby's house. You want your wife back so bad, or maybe he just wanted to explain. I don't know what he wants. But you're going to chase her down and then 20 minutes later you in somebody else's bed? If I was Abby, there's no way he's getting in my bed. I don't know how many seconds we are into the show, but you know how it goes. I've already downed my non-alcoholic champagne. I'm going to have to get a refill. Should have bought another bottle, but I didn't. Not only does this man chase his wife in the dark of night, he then goes to Abby's bed, decides he's going to wake up and go to his own home and have a bowl of dry Raisin Bran cereal. Lily Mae is ignoring him the whole time. She wished he would ask a question. She's got her mouth fixed, perched, and fully ready to curse him out. He don't say nothing. He just reads the paper, then he sort of drops it like he's cute or something. And she said, you know what? Don't ask me nothing about my daughter. He definitely didn't ask her nothing about her daughter. But she's like, if she wants to get a hold of you, she knows where she can find you, at least during the day. Only to have this man go outside, Abby sends her kids off with Diana. Diana's got a real cool car, too, by the way. I've never seen that. So maybe she just got it last night. When Abby comes out of the house, why is he's smiling like she's a ray of sunshine? Make up your mind, sir. If you're going to stay there in all the boldness with in front of God and everybody, move all the way in. You don't get to come home and have Raisin Bran cereal. You don't get to eat up my supplies and then go back somewhere else. And she a fool too. She a big fool smiling in his face. She had nothing to say to him. So apparently Val has been gone for 3 weeks. It's not the next day. So is this fool sleeping at her house every night? I guess we'll get around to that. Joe's back and Joe is feeling himself, or he's feeling the pressure. Val's book is apparently about to go into print. He's on the phone talking to God knows who. They're like, where's your girl? She needs to be out here promoting this book. Lily Mae knows exactly where she is, but she's keeping mum. She's saying not a damn thing. She just put a hot plate and a few other bags of things in the car. Joe accosts her. He's like, yo, you need to tell your daughter to get back here. I don't care about her personal life. I'm her editor. Tell her to get to work. Joe, calm down, baby. Please have a seat. She don't give a damn about that book right now. I wish she would add some more chapters, but I had to stop and press play or press record because Lily Mae is driving in LA. God, I love how old this looks. It's just beautiful to me. I love film from like the 60s and 70s, and this feels very 70s-ish, even though it's very early 80s, so it's that residue. That's not the point, though. She pulls up to the Bates Motel. I kid you not. You know the first thing you think of is, of course, Psycho. I had recently started watching the Ryan Murphy American Crime. Ryan Murphy is a little bit intense for me when he does horror. Like, I love American Horror Story because it's a good story, but I can only do him once a year. I feel like he's so gory. You know how I feel about horror, but he puts together a very good story. American Crime, they've done OJ, they did the Menendez brothers last time. This one is about this guy from the 40s. They're calling him a serial killer. I have not got to the point where he's actually killing more than one person. He's only killed one person at this point. He likes to dig up corpses. Super gross, right? When you see that story, you're like, okay, I can see why Psycho was influenced by this. Now, I don't remember if it was a book first or if Hitchcock was just sort of inspired by this particular story. Keep that in mind. Norman Bates, Norman Bates, Norman Bates. I got curious as I'm watching the show because this lady on TikTok, she has a YouTube channel as well. Her name is Nick. The Kermit version is like in parentheses. She does film noir reviews or just sort of breaks it down for you. She's a lot of fun. She's hilarious. But she has so much knowledge about these old films and the studio systems, etc. She's super into Hitchcock. So I had remembered a few things she said. And one of them was like how hot this guy who played Norman Bates was. So I got curious as to what he did after the film, because at the point I'm watching now, the film is very controversial. They had the first viewing and people were vomiting and stuff. They weren't used to the gore we're used to today. Seems like he was typecast for a little bit after that. This movie's what, early 60s? Yeah, he plays this role. He gets this really big buzz, but then it never really takes off. He has a few other films, and he was dating, I think his name is Tab Hunter, for a while. I saw Tab Hunter's documentary years and years ago, but I remember parts of it, and I vaguely remember him, but I didn't put two and two together for some reason. I guess it's been too long. Anyway, that was his boo for many, many years. I guess they had some sort of falling out and never really fully hooked back up ever again. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The tea about this whole situation is Mr. Norman Bates had his first ever lady experience with none other than our girl, Pamela freaking Ewing. Yes, allegedly him and Pamela freaking Ewing, aka Victoria Principal, hooked up together on this Western. It was either a series or a movie. They used to hook up in between takes and whatnot. Just FYI, the next time you see Psycho, keep that in mind. I just looked it up. It's the life and times of Judge Roy Bean. And here's the kicker. His ex was in the movie too. Ooh. Back to North Landing. Lily Mae is hauling stuff up these stairs, and she ain't no better than a man. She sees a young strapping gentleman in a pair of barely there shorts. Not her stopping and staring like, dang. She didn't even care that his girl was there. Yeah. Lily Mae is Abby. Abby is Lily Mae. Lily Mae is good and pissed. She's not too keen about Valine being hauled up in this hotel motel Holiday Inn room with a white couch. Have you ever seen white furniture in a hotel? Me neither. It's very ditty, isn't it? She's angry. She brings over a bunch of clothes and basically tells Val, I don't know why you live in here. You shouldn't be scurrying around like a little mouse. You need to have your husband kicked out that house. You need to be home where you belong. You're out here by yourself. This is horrible. She's having a really, really rough time being at home with Gary. She's like, we don't talk to each other. Every time I see him, my head starts hurting. I can't stand it, Val. But Val says she just needs some time to be alone. Lily Mae says, yeah, you and Greta Garbo, and look where that got her. I don't know what that means. I looked it up. I want to be alone. I feel like I've heard that in, oh my gosh, in Death Becomes Her, right? Somebody says that in the movie, but I didn't really. Okay. God, that's embarrassing. 30 plus years later. That's the woman who had the potion, the main lady, was telling Meryl Streep who her famous clients were. And she was like, Miss, I want to be alone. She's like, no, I thought it was talking about Zsa Zsa Gabor up until 10 seconds ago. So I don't know if it's in a movie or if she really, I'm not going to read that right now. I'll read this after the fact. Point is, Lily Mae says you need to get your life together. You need to get on home and you need to get yourself a good lawyer. Karen goes bursting into a police station. She's a total Karen. Runs past this little old man, bursts into this guy's office. Am I supposed to know him? She's acting like she's been in contact with him the whole time. Something interesting just occurred to me. They didn't really make a big fuss about Sid's death in as far as it being a crime. But that's what happened. Absolutely. The brakes were cut. I don't remember them ever going back and digging into that any deeper. I guess they'll just pick it up this season. This dude whose name already is, I don't think she said his name yet. I forgot his name from the opening credits. He looks like James Caan to me. He looks like he's definitely in that family. And I don't know if he's supposed to be from New York. This accent seems to be floating in and out, but she big mad. The mafioso types who killed Sid essentially were not tried for murder. It was for like moving cars or stolen property across state lines, that kind of crap. Stealing a car, but not that. She's pissed because she feels like because Sid was not some big name, he wasn't this wealthy guy, she didn't feel like this particular man did his job by bringing enough evidence so that these men were in jail for murder. He trying to be a little bit cute about it. She's pissed. You not funny at all, sir. He talking about he gonna call Lorenzo little old man she walked by. She don't give a damn. She wants the case reopened. She's focused. She's pissed. And she's right. I'm glad they circled back to this. No, he didn't. He asked her to dinner. No, he didn't. No, sir. What kind of man? She came in there and told you how much you suck at doing your job and how you didn't protect and serve not a damn person. You're like, okay, great. You want Red Lobster? All very stressful. Karen goes to work. She's talking with Richard and her brother. Her brother is like, you better back all the hell the way up. This is the mob. That's Richard's whole thing. He's like, listen, they have dirty money. They have people in their pocket. Absolutely, these guys were going to get off. You don't really want to mess with that. Joe's like, back up. Listen, if you keep playing with these people, you're going to be sleeping with the fishes. You're going to be part of an offering. You're going to be in cement boots if you don't watch yourself. She insists that Richard go and get the court transcripts. Joe insists that if he tries that, I'm going to have to make sure you're disbarred. I thought he was disbarred anyway. No, he wasn't disbarred. He was just fired, right? Lord, this is intense and stressful. And he's not wrong. I'm kind of with Joe. Joe acts like he's got some gambling debt. If I didn't know no better, I think Joe might have been dangled off of a few balconies in his time. You better listen to him. And she's a New Yorker too, but I get it. That's her man. They need justice. Joe's whole thing is, listen, you and your family made it through the year without your husband. You don't really want any more problems. She's like, I want justice. Oof, this is stressing me out already. Let me tell you something. I may not know everything, but I can comprehend body language, tone, And I could definitely decipher language. I know enough Spanglish and Spanish to know this ain't no real Italian, homeboy. I am so proud of myself. I managed to make it through the Abby and Gary scene. But this fool speaking fake Italian, baby, I have seen every Godfather, Casino, what is it, Johnny Darko, Johnny Bravo? What's the one with Johnny Depp? Donnie Brasco. You know what I'm saying. Gangster films is my ting. I know good and well you ain't speaking no Italian. That's what I know. You speaking it very raggedly. I guess Karen was just sort of hopped up because she saw in the paper that the mafioso types got off without any real consequences. Dude asked her to dinner. I didn't think she was going to pay any attention. I guess she had a change of heart or she got hungry or something. They're sitting at the restaurant being passed over, but it seems like they're having a good time. You know, it's small talk this, small talk that. I'm from New York. You're from New York. Yeah, can't you tell by my accent? So as the guy is walking by, the waiter's doing his job. He's doing the same job as the hostess, bringing people to and from their tables. Mr. I forgot his name already. Taps the dude on the shoulder. He's like, hey, paisan. Skimmy dibby dibby Italiano table, food, Italiano. Boy, bye. Okay, he definitely said he tried to impress the lady, and I know that because he said that in degular English. Boy, you don't get somewhere and sit down. Lily Mae has taken, oh, you remember the little klepto kid and the runaway father? Yeah, Rusty and Cricket have made an appearance, and they are geeked. Apparently, Lily Mae has been keeping in touch with them. You know, they're all Southerners from sporadic places, so they're going to have a good old country hoedown in the middle of the woods. They're riding horses, having a good time. Val looks good. Gary, okay, let me talk about Gary. Karen is on one, and I don't blame her. She's only letting him take an hour lunch because we know what he does on his lunch break. So by the end of the day, he's upset. Harumph. He goes to Abby's house, slinging his stupid empty briefcase around the room. She entices him with the shower, talking about how much he love it. What an ass. So I guess they are separated. Val said that from her own mouth. Nothing else left to do at this point, I suppose. Let me see if Karen gets to eat, or if his super broken. Okay, I know what Spanglish is. What do you call fake Italian? Yeah, if that works for him. Y'all bear with me. I will learn his name eventually. I thought she said Mackenzie, but then he called himself Matt, or she just called him Matt. This is my thing. They're at dinner. She agreed to go. Obviously, he's the detective that was working her husband's case. She's a grieving widow. She don't want to come and talk about where you grew up. I mean, that's nice to know, but at the end of the day, this ain't no date like that. She came to eat and get the information. Two things can be true at once, though. Actually, many things can be true at once. Matt is hot. He's good looking. Apparently, he is of Irish and Scottish descent. I'm pretty sure he used some slurs after that. I'm not even going to go there, but apparently he had a rough time growing up on the mean streets of New York. I wonder if he had that little fro his whole life. I'm not mad at it. It looks good. It don't look like it's perm rods. I think it's natural by the way it's sitting up on his head. Never mind that. We're not talking about that now, are we? We're talking about he and Karen. So he's clearly into her, right? But she's curious about Sid in this case. And the whole gist of this scene is he wants to date. She wants information, but then she kind of wants to date. So there's this sort of pull, this tug of war thing going on. He has come to the conclusion that the bohos who had Sid killed weren't really trying to kill him. Karen and I are like, wait a minute. Why do you cut brakes on a car if you're not trying to kill anybody? He says, I understand that, but I'm a detective. If you want someone dead and you're in the mob, why not just shoot them? Why not just, you know what I'm saying? You would kill. They have assassins for a reason. She's like, okay, yeah, you're right. Well, what do you think they were doing? He said they probably just wanted to scare him and it went too far. She goes, that doesn't make any sense. It didn't scare easily. Why not just rough him up or whatever? He was like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. It doesn't even feel like the mob was really doing this. This to me seems like an inexperienced person. Some kid probably tampered with the brakes and released all the brake fluid. And then just, things spun out of control. They were not expecting your husband to die. That's his whole take. So I'm thinking back and I could have sworn there was definitely a grown man in there. So now The seed has at least been planted that it was somebody in, obviously, well, let me think about this. She would have already known that the brakes were cut. More than likely, they were cut in the shop. The thing is, if I recall right, that wasn't even Sid's car. He was test driving a car for one of his customers. So the dude who we saw do it, or the one we think did it, obviously knew he was going to get in that car. That's Matt's whole thing. They just paid somebody to do something. So he's driving her home in his Wagoneer. I totally recognize that car. I love the new ones. And it is raggedy. It is making all sorts of noise. She knows exactly what's wrong with it. Why don't you bring it by the shop? My mechanic will hook you up. He ends up giving her a huge box, a huge file box of the court transcripts. This is about to set Joe off. I just know it. She gets so excited. She kisses him on each cheek. He goes, hey, I didn't think nice girls kissed on the first date. She said, that wasn't no kiss. He said, I know, and he grabbed her up. Is this Karen's Booski? I'm not going to lie, he's hot. As he was talking in the restaurant, I was like, I kind of like his face. And the fact that he's in the opening credits, well, he's here. But if it, Mackenzie. Is she calling him Mac then? I just thought about that. Is it Mac or Matt? I don't remember what his first name is. His name could be Matthew McKenzie. So I'm going to say his name is Matt until I learn otherwise. But she kissy boo-boo. That doesn't surprise me because she had many suitors last season, despite not really wanting to date. No, remember, she almost moved to Houston with that engineer type. Karen still got it. Oh my God. That was a good kiss. She got her mouth agape. He tells her when he's done, he says, finish with that and I'll give you the rest. And she like, what? The transcripts. Sure you will, Curly. Uh-huh. All right, Karen. I mean, I'm saying, is this a conflict of interest though? That was my whole point of going on describing this. This doesn't seem like a good match if it's almost too personal, because if this doesn't, the relationship that is, if that doesn't turn into some sort of conviction for these people who definitely killed Sid, whether it was an accident or not, that's going to be a place of resentment, I would think, in the middle of a relationship. This don't seem relationship-y, but it seemed like she's going to have a good time. I also had the thought when he was sitting at that table, he seems like the type of character you would kill at some point. I'm sorry, he just does. It could be because I'm thinking of McNamara. I used to love watching, me and my friend Janessa, we used to watch New York Undercover. Baby. I remember when McNamara came, and I think he ended up being tortured or something. This guy, maybe it's that he's a cop, but he definitely gives I'm going to be kidnapped at some point vibes, or I will be shot at some point. Yeah, for sure. He gives that vibe. Plus, I think in some TV series, it's always the guy who, he's not necessarily foreign, but he's not from wherever the other people are. Those people tend to be expendable. McNamara was definitely like that. He was one of the later casts who came on and then they got rid of him really quick. I think that's what I'm thinking. Plus, it's a cop. You can never have more than one cop on a show, ever. Something's going to happen. I just talked all that ish, but you know what? This is the thoughts and the musing of a TV kid who grew up into a woman. I'm telling you, he gives that vibe off, but I really hope they don't. He just showed up at Karen's place of business. He's got the chesticles out. I see that furry chest. He's giving Chase Giamberti. At high noon, she went on and invited him over for dinner, but I like the back and forth between them. We hadn't seen anybody match wits with her in a minute. Oh, God. Okay, you know what? It just hit me, too. He kind of reminds me of Sid in the tone and texture of their voices. But he's hot. I think I like him. I think I like his personality. I hope he doesn't get run over anytime soon. Also, I don't know if the dude working on his car is the one who cut the brakes. Dang. I didn't go back and watch the end of season 2, and I avoided the first few episodes of season 3. Didn't go through that again. Also, Lily Mae is mad scandalous. So She ends up leaving at the crack of dawn, I suppose, before Cricket even goes to school. She leaves Val stranded out there at Dusty or Rusty's house, but he ends up talking her into staying. She's like, listen, you and mama don't understand. The last thing I need in my life right now is. And Rusty said, hold on, sweetheart. Let me stop you right there. Don't flatter yourself. I didn't say nothing about hooking up. I said you can stay here. You're not fooling anybody, Rusty. I see ya. Everybody wants a piece of the Vidalia onion queen. Even her loser ex, apparently. Or maybe he just wants to, let me shut up. Let me just watch it. I feel like Gary just wants to say something to her face. She just fired Gary. Oh, she looks pleased with herself. Okay, plot twist. Didn't see that coming. She saw Gary after she put her new friend, I don't know, put him in the car. She looks across the way and Gary is with this couple. She's like, hey, come here. Where you been? I thought she was going to ask him, hey, do you remember the mechanic that was blah, blah, blahing? I understand she's pissed and I feel the same way. Trust me, I do. But we need to get some evidence and some information. But she's like, where was you? You didn't ask me if you could go. He's like, listen, I'm a full grown man. If I'm not doing my job, you need to say something to me immediately. You need to let me know right now. And if you don't like it, fire me. My personal life is my personal life. If I'm not doing my job, that's one thing. But if you don't like what I'm doing in my personal life, that's your business. Fire me. He walks off. She lets him get good and across the way with his super tight jeans. She says, oh, Gary, you're fired. I figured it would tear apart the friend group for sure. I'm okay. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, if he cares about Sid and you can get information out of him, it'll come out. But yeah, there had to be a line drawn in the sand. I knew it at some point. It's still so awkward though. So is he gonna just sleep at his own house and go back and forth? Oh no. No. So okay. Unfortunately, even though it felt amazing, I can tell by the look on Karen's face, to fire Gary, that freed him up for the rest of the day. He goes home to wash the day off of him while Lily Mae makes it back to town. She hears a phone ring and she hurry up. She's trying to hustle in the house. She picks it up and it's Joe. Joe's still looking for Val. She's like, are you at home? He said, no, I'm not at home. She goes, well, Val's probably trying to reach you at home. She's not at the motel anymore. She's with Rusty and Cricket. He goes, well, what does that mean? She's with Rusty and Cricket. Where is that at? She goes, oh, he has a ranch in Ventura. Gary is upstairs ear hustling on the other line. He picked it up. She didn't hear the click. So he's listening to the whole conversation, sopping wet, by the way, in a towel. We get it. She's just about to give Joe the phone number. Dang it. Oh my God, my heart's beating up out of my chest. Oh my gosh. That was the most satisfying 2 minutes of the show I've ever seen in my life. Gary knows where she's at. He comes rolling up. Rusty, here's something outside. He said, you looking for your mama? No, I'm not expecting my mama. Somebody's here to see you. Val runs to the window. She sees it is Gary in the lean, mean driving machine. He hops out. He's talking mad reckless. He's loud. Vidalia, come outside. Vidalia. Rusty's at the door. She don't want to talk to you, homeboy. Let me in. I'm not letting you in my house. Well, I'm going to kick the door down. He starts kicking. He starts destroying property. Private property. Rusty's like, oh, no. You ain't going to break my stuff. You know how far I am from Home Depot? So he opens the door and he's like, act what? Do something. Gary don't give a damn. Gary's got on JR's safari jacket. He sees his wife. You are my wife. Ain't no way you're going to be shacked up with this man. Can you believe the absolute gall and audacity? He says this with his whole chest. Let me breathe. I'm sorry. I'm excited. Okay. That's like, I ain't going nowhere with you. I'm your wife? Your wife? Oh, that's cute. That's rich. You can stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel. You're not staying here shacking up with this man. Rusty said, listen, you don't want no problems. Now, the funniest part to me about this whole thing is that Cricket was on the couch. They were just singing that, you swallow the bird to catch that spider song I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Cricket jumps up with her guitar. She looked like she with the shits to me. Like she was ready to step in if need be. She's raised by a full-grown man. You feel me? Well, she don't get the opportunity. Gary starts, popping off a little too much. Rusty does not appreciate the way he is pawing at his homegirl, Valine, the Vidalia Onion Queen. They go way back. So he said, all right, bro, one more again. You got one more again to touch this woman. That's all it takes. Gary's like, I want some. And what? He starts swinging. Rusty is with the itch. I recall from his episode, now that I'm breathing a little bit more, that he was a Golden Glove fighter at some point, right? He's got that form. He's got them hands. And he generously bestows them all over Gary Ewing's pretty little North Texas face. Well, they get to going on. Now, I don't mean to make it sound like Gary wasn't holding his own. Turd kicker to turd kicker, it was pretty impressive, but not as impressive as it needed to be. He was swinging here, he was swinging there. He tagged Gary bop, 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 about 6 times in the face. Gary's like, oh no, hell no. He started hitting him in the kidneys. Valina Vidalia Queen got tossed like onion rings twice across the floor. Bam, she slammed into the couch. Bam, she slammed into the couch. I was worried because she's awfully thin. I'm like, oh, they don't crack her ribs. Cricket's hollering, y'all stop, y'all stop. Actually, she hollering at Rusty because she knows Rusty has hands. And there might be a body or two buried on that there ranch. Gary North Texas Ewing gets a good one in. Ooh, it hurts. It makes Rusty stumble and tumble and fall into the fireplace a little bit. And he's like, okay. I'm tired of playing with you. So he reaches for one of the pokers. He's like, I'm going to kill you, Nana. I'm going to kill you. Darlene's like, oh, shit. She jumps in front of him. I thought she was going to jump in front of Gary. Now she jumps in front of Rusty. And she says, Gary, go on now, get. That's as far as I got before I spazzed out. I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry. That's as far as I got before I freaked out. The most exhilarating 2 minutes of television I've ever seen. Well, for this show. Okay, there's only about 10 minutes left of the show, but that was a lot. Okay. Sorry, guys, let me get my thoughts together. Gary makes it home. He is battered. He is bruised. He makes it to Abby's house. He parks in her driveway. He is quite comfortable doing so. He walks in. She gets a good look at him. She says, did Val do that or did Rusty? He wants to know how she knew where he was. She said she thought he was at work. Turns out he wasn't. She called his house with his wife. Lily Mae was all too happy to let Abby know that Val got her a real man, and he's so much better than the trash she shares her bed with. Lily Mae couldn't wait to tell it. Gary starts that huffy puffy stuff he gets to pull with Valene, but Abby says, oh, no, I ain't doing all that. He says I'm going to bed. He turns like he's going to go upstairs. She says, oh, but wait, hold on, sir. Your bed is across the street. As in, you said this was me and you for real, for real. I don't do halfway nothing. I hate that I respect her so much in this moment because she's not wrong. I feel you. You're going to make up your mind. You're not going to play in and out. Like when we were little, my dad used to holler through the door if, we got the AC temperature just right in the house. And if you answer the door, don't leave it open. Close the door. You letting out all the cool air. Abby said, you better pick a house. You better pick a door. You going to stay in or you going to stay out, period. 100% or nothing. This fool says to her, 100% of nothing is nothing. She's like, what are you talking about? Don't start all that self-pity and stuff. She thinks and I did too. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? She thinks he's being a wimp. But he says, I'm about to come into a lot of money right now. I'm about to come into a lot of money soon. To which Abby replies, the Ewing millions will be old and gray before we see any of that money. To which Gary replies, no, I got a call from Bobby this morning. Mama is ready to hear the will. Okay, guys. Now, everybody's told me I'm cool to keep watching this. It's not going to interfere with nothing. He's about to read the will. Abby says, are you even in it? Gary says, I'm definitely in it. I just don't know for how much. My daddy didn't trust me on account of him being a drunkard and a runoffer, you know what I'm saying? But he loved Val. He called Val Gary's anchor. So Gary wants to make sure that his inheritance isn't contingent on his relationship with Valene. So now I'm confused. I'm a little bit apprehensive, but most of all, I'm a little bit pissed. Is that why he's chasing after her? Is that what it is? Is he trying to make good just so he can get whatever he needs to get? That's why he's all bucking in Karen's face. Now, I'm not saying he was wrong because I get that. You're a grown man. If you don't want to work under someone's thumb, then by all means, don't do it. But he knew he's coming into some money, though. So you know what I'm saying? Is this why he's being so reckless? because he knows his financial security is coming. What a douche. I never looked at Gary as like the money grubbing type, and I don't know if he is. But the fact that that's what he's using to soothe Abby's nerves is really obnoxious. And also, I'm a little bit concerned about watching the next few episodes of this. Because there's no way he would just say that for no reason. So there's probably going to be a contingency. Golly, Mama's not ready. Okay. I mean, I guess it doesn't spoil anything because that wouldn't have been a plot surprise anyway because I already knew that Jim Davis was gone. Okay, wow. Interesting. Anyway, he goes on to say, you keep tripping, basically. I'll walk out that door. I won't go to Valine, but I certainly won't come back here either. So it seems like he has all but made up his mind. There ain't going to be any reconciliation. He wants out with Val. Dang, then why'd you go up there and get beat down? Ugh, this is a confusing time. This is weird. Who is Wayne? Wayne is, okay, Karen, we're back at Karen's business. She's trying to replace Gary. She calls him this mechanic Wayne. And this dude he has the charisma of a wet towel. He is giving absolutely nothing. I'm actually physically exhausted as he speaks. She's offering him, she basically breaks it down and says, Gary don't work here anymore. He was doing sales and repairs. That's too much. I'm splitting up his duties. So-and-so is going to take sales. I'd like you to run the shop. I'd like you to be over repairs. He says with a straight face, well, I don't know, Mrs. Farragate. All I know is cars. You think? Hey, Wayne, homeboy, do you know what makes an incredible mechanic at a car dealership? Knowing cars. I hope he's not. Let me just relax. Here's the thing. I'm coming in this. I'm all... This show revs me up too much. It really does. I feel like I should probably watch one part in the morning and one part in the afternoon and give myself real world things to do in between because now I'm nervous about who's going to be on the show all the time. This dude is giving nothing. I swear he's got to be the director's brother or nephew or something. All I know is cars. Jesus. I need some B12 after that. I'm exhausted. Perhaps I was a little harsh on Wayne. Wayne knows cars. He does not know arithmetic, apparently, or how to hold a conversation, or how to read a room, or when to leave. Wayne definitely has a body in the trunk. I promise you he does. Okay, wow. That was a lot in 10 minutes. Okay, now that my jaw is up off the floor, I literally just pushed stop. It says executive producers Michael Fillerman and David Jacobs. Abby and Gary are in a warm embrace. Literally just pushed stop. So much happened in the last 10 minutes. Wow. Okay. Number one, it irritates me to see Gary play the family man when I saw he and Abby in their little blue station wagon with Val's kids in the back seat. The happy family. How cute. I wonder how Lucy would feel. I bet Lucy would have loved to take a trip to the beach with her family. Abby's a fool with it, though. She is so soft for this man because she does not strike me as somebody who lets anybody run all over her, but I could already tell she is folding to his mood. Y'all gonna have the relationship you deserve. You are, quite frankly. I'm not even that upset about y'all no more. But as he's coming home with his new family from the beach across the street, we see Valine, the Vidalia Onion Queen, in a sheeny brick red jumpsuit. She is loading all his things out the house. Walks over and he apologizes for bursting in on her and Rusty. Like, I'm so sorry. I really can't. I don't have anything to say. I have no right to interrupt whatever you got going on. And she's like, all right, cool. He's like, are you moving all this to Rusty's? She's like, no, I'm not. This is all the stuff that your mama gave me. This ain't my stuff. This is your stuff. You can do with it what you please. Put it in storage, burn it. I really don't give a damn. He gets so huffy puffy and angry that Gary Ewing doesn't know how to use his big boy words. He stomps across the street, jumps in Abby's baby blue station wagon and peels the F out, leaving Abby to run out of her house hollering after him. I hope she understands what this is. It was very satisfying. Her and Val kind of looked across the street at each other. They can't stand one another. But then Abby had that look on her face. So she spins on her heels, goes in her house real. No, she didn't spin on her heels. She turned very slowly and walked very slowly into her house. I hope she sees what this is. You feel like you're victorious in this moment, but you don't know who you're going to have to babysit for the next however long. It don't matter. While he was gone, Abby laid on her bed and she collected her thoughts. And her thoughts led her to review all of the things in her arsenal and to strategize and make a very calculated decision. She pulls out an oversized manila envelope. She goes to her closet, pulls out an old-fashioned suitcase, like a old-fashioned suitcase, cracks that sum open, and tell me why she has a copy of Capricorn's. She should not have that. I don't know who her connect is. I don't know who her plug is. She should not be able to have that. She might have the first copy, but she clearly has a revised one. So I'm like, who the hell is her connect? She sends this unpublished manuscript to J.R. Ewing. Now this is real crappy because Val's been talking all episode long. The first 6 chapters of her book are going to be put into some magazine, so that needs to happen sooner rather than later, early spring. The book isn't coming out until Christmas, which leads me to believe this is late winter, early spring, around Marchish. Abby went ahead and sent the manuscript to JR in Texas. Now, hopefully he don't open his own mail, but this is soap opera. We already know what's going to go down. He's going to read that and wreak havoc. So I feel like they're about to cross over again. Seems like they're going to have to since Jock died. Karen had invited Matt over, and I saw him jumping in the front yard. I know an athlete when I see an athlete. Quick aside, Karen's kids are getting really big. I can see it with Michael. The middle boy looks the same, but Michael is his voice starting to change. He's getting big. They're going to have to figure out something with him pretty quick. Olivia looks bigger too. Olivia and what's the baby boy? Is it Brian? Brian has no speaking lines. I forget he's there half the time, but he's bigger. All the kids are getting big. Once Matt's leaving, she's about to let Matt or Mackenzie, whatever his name is, out of the house. They had a wonderful time. The kids seem to like him. He's telling her how beautiful her family is. She's like, I know. He said, do you want me to bring over the rest of the transcript? She says, yes, I'm already on 8. He told her he had 16 boxes. Joe's witnessing all this and he's not very pleased. He really doesn't want her to dig into this. So once Matt leaves, Joe starts going in. Her and Joe are having a conversation. They're going back and forth about, you need to let this go. I'm not going to let this go. I need to look into this, blah, blah, blah. It was a freak accident. Well, while they're doing it, it's kind of like a voiceover. Weird Wayne, I swear to you guys, I didn't look. I swear on my life, everything. I have not gone any further. But Wayne is in his weird apartment, or his apartment, let me not judge it. He has a whole scrapbook of Sid. Now this kid, like I said, he's no personality. It is a wet rag. He's giving you absolutely nothing in the face, even when he's alone. So I'm jumping to conclusions right off the bat. He is creepy. They want me to think he's creepy. He wasn't the one who cut the brakes, though. I know he wasn't. I'm almost 100% sure it was like a bigger, gruffier guy. It was not him. I know it wasn't. But he has a scrapbook of Sid. And as we can hear Joe and Karen arguing, going kind of back and forth, he's flipping the pages. It shows Sid died in a car accident. The DA has made some arrests. The DA has to let these people go. Blah, blah, blah. He's keeping tabs. That's not too unusual since he works at Not Landing Motor. Wayne is mad creepy. So unfortunately, I think Wayne's going to stick around. Ugh. Wow. Damn. I talk too much. Now I'm like, what if he shoots Matt? I'm going to call him Mackenzie until I know his government name. Whew. Okay, needless to say, that was good. That was fantastic. Did not see Laura, did not see Kenny or Baby Two Names or Ginger, and that's fine with me. A little bit of Richard, who seems to be quite healthy, actually. Valine says she's keeping the house, as she should. I forgot that part. She and Lily Mae are sitting on folding chairs in the house. They're going to go buy new furniture. With what money, I don't know, but I would imagine Val keeps the books in the family. What a loser. He just bounces around from woman to woman. Okay, whatever. Whew. I feel like I just ran a marathon. Oh my gosh. Yeah, tens across the board. Also, the music is very swelling. They had like sinister music. They had these beautiful violins and such as they hold each other. I hope they're not. I'm very curious to those of you who were around during this. Were they the new couple? Were people excited about this? I can see Abby being one of those people you love to hate, but they're pushing romance on this so hard. Oh my gosh. Great show today, guys. Wow. I don't even really have anything else to say. Just wow. Join me next time as we bear witness to our final season premiere, season 5, episode 1 of Dynasty. I am expecting a good time every time, especially now that I'm equipped with the knowledge that this is going to be the number 1 show this particular season. All right, y'all. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized. Don't run up and get done up to your ex-wife's new booze ranch. It is quite embarrassing to get beat down in front of a child who's named after a creature with an exoskeleton. Stay moisturized. Mind your business unless you don't have to. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm saying. Keep all of your drama on TV. I need a drink.